very large ski area out here called Mount Washington. And it can regularly get over 20 meters of snow. But the rest of Vancouver Island, of course, is really quite mild and low. We're looking at the east coast of the island. So looking across towards mainland British Columbia and Canada. And of course, in between the mainland and the huge island itself are the Gulf Islands to the south and a series of other islands all the way up. In fact, I'm heading to an island, another island later today, but I'm going to be coming into the city of Nanaimo in the distance. So we'll be curving around it into the bay. It is just spectacular as a day. Now, Vancouver Island is fewer than 1 million inhabitants full-time. The largest city by far is Victoria, which happens to be, of course, the capital of British Columbia as well. That's down in the far south of the island. That's about 111 kilometers south of Nanaimo, where I'm heading in here, the second city. And then it's, about another half hour or so up to Parksville, another half hour up to Courtney Comox, and then another half hour, a little more, up to Campbell River, and then 3.5 all the way up to Port Hardy. And a few days from now, I'm going to take that overnight ferry all the way up to Prince Rupert on the north coast. So just give it a little pause here, and I'm going to head over to the other side of the ferry to show you the mainland. Sorry, I haven't gone to the other side of the ferry yet because we're seeing orcas in the distance. You would need to be able to scan in. There it is, if you maybe just caught the spray. So there are 3 principal pods of orcas around Vancouver Island. They're obviously feeding on the Tsawassen, ideally. There's one of the fins. There you go. Hopefully you're getting a quick peek. But you know what? Yeah, I'm presuming that's an orca. There are humpbacks out here too. But the Tsawassen are the king salmon or Chinook salmon that are over 30 pounds, so 15 kilos. You know, oh, there's another spray. Oh, it's really fabulous. What a treat. There we are. So yeah, they're probably schooling around some salmon right now, having a wonderful feed. Hopefully you're able to scan in and see this. What a treat. On my way out to the ferry terminal in Tsawassen today. It's a 2-hour ferry ride up from south of Vancouver where I traveled to. I saw 2 eagles this morning and loads of herons as always. Oh, that's spectacular. What a treat. And of course big currents switching here. And yeah, there's definitely salmon around because there's people out, little fishing boats. Those are salmon boats. They're not running up the rivers yet, and it's been too hot anyway for that to happen yet. So let's wander over. In fact, why don't I just bring everybody over now and give you a sense of the ferries. And as I do wander through here, see the length of the ferries? This is one of the older ones. Still, it's a great service, the largest ferry network in the world actually, here in Vancouver Island. And now I'm looking out towards mainland British Columbia and Canada in the distance. So there's the other ferry going across to Horseshoe Bay, which is up in West Vancouver, straight across. It's such a sunny day that it's quite hazy in the distance, but that's just evaporation, so there's some perfect weather. I do want to say as well, the captain had come on to say they saw marine life, so it's pretty nice that they all participate. This is a Sunday, so people will be enjoying their days out and enjoying this gorgeous environment. Okay, so I'm just going to give us a little bit of a pause, and I'll come back as we're turning into the bay in Nanaimo. And there, of course, the south. I was south of the 49th parallel, by the way. Well, right on it, actually, is probably the honest truth. That's where the ferries leave from, and that's the border with the United States. It's only Vancouver Island that drops below the 49th parallel anyway in the western Canada. Now, I'm sure you'll have a little trouble hearing me, but there's Nanaimo behind those 2 little islands there. I'm going to come in, there we are. I'm going to come in around Gabriola, and I'm going to Duke Point. There's 2 ferry terminals here, so the one that I'm on comes out, then I'll have to drive about 15 kilometers or so around to the city itself. Now, the backbone of Vancouver Island, as you see in the distance there, the just huge chain of mountains right up and down, is still pretty wild. Major lumber industry. If you're able to have a look on the side of the mountains up there. Lots of clearings, generally sustainable, it's fair to say, but strong environmental movement out here. And in fact, the Member of Parliament for this area is actually a Green member. That's sort of exciting. Green Party in Canada's in a sort of rough way at the moment, but it really has its foothold out here. And the further north you get, it becomes, of course, more resource-based. A lot of tourism as well, of course. But the ocean is just so spectacular. So this is, of course, well, the Straits of Georgia, but of course the Pacific Ocean. And the First Nations who lived out here for so many thousands of years just had access to so much food. And out on these Gulf Islands, it's just such a wonderful place. So now I just want to scan back one more time. Look out in the distance. And there you see the coastal mountains, just a silhouette of them. If you have heard of Emily Carr, she was probably the artist. There's even a university, but she was probably the one most credited for bringing back art forms, or popularizing art forms that have been around for thousands of years out here. And of course you think of totems, which are more further up north. Here people out of wood would have built arches historically, and like gateways to their longhouses and homes. It's a fabulous culture. And just a beautiful area. Now, foggy and rainy in the winter, but when it's like this, it's just gorgeous. So we're going to come into the dock here, and then I'm going to drive around to the city center of Nanaimo, famous of course for Nanaimo bars. They call it Canada's favorite dessert or energy bar. They are dense. Oh, and the smoke down in the distance, those are lumber mills down there. But I can see we're approaching the port, and I'm going to have to head down to the van. And there's all lumber out in the water. So just about welcome to Vancouver Island, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to add a few seconds here. This is what it looks like coming into port. So there is the big lumber mill over there. Of course, huge historic part of the economy here. And Nanaimo was all coal mining going back to the 1850s. There's still a bastion there. And look at the coastline, all the granite. Really high tides here. Wonderful fishing, kayaking, swimming. And I am going swimming later today, I assure you, because it's just good for, well, it's just good for everything. It's probably about 25 degrees Celsius right now. And gorgeous. So this is Duke Point. So once I pull out of here, if I go south, I get down to Victoria in about an hour and a half. But I'm not. I'm going north. I'm going to Nanaimo for a little while, and then up the coast. So thank you for coming over to Vancouver Island with me. And thank you for enjoying this ride on BC Ferries. And in a few days, I'm taking one all the way north. So that's a big 16-hour trip. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's gorgeous here today. So welcome home.